right? So when I look at this question, even though the question is being willing for a next step, right? The question is being willing to let go of thinking I know. The truth is, even getting to the point of asking this question is the effect of previous willingness, right? If there wasn't previous willingness to learn from Spirit, I never would have got to the point of even asking this question. So you see how every step of willingness is so important? It doesn't really matter what step we are on. If we give our willingness for that current learning, whatever it is that we need to be learning or letting go of now, if we just give our willingness, then it leads to the next step and the next step and the next step. Again, I'm grateful for my willingness, and I continue to give it. All right, so I asked this question again. I said, I am willing to let go of thinking I know. I see clearly that thinking I know can be based on past experience. I also see that thinking I know can be tricky on the spiritual path. When I think I know based on spiritual education, right? Intellectual learning. What would you share with me to help me let go of thinking I know? And here's the answer. Thinking you know infiltrates the mind much more than you realize. So even though I'm giving this willingness here, Spirit is already telling me I'm just at the tip of the iceberg here. But thanks for coming to the tip of the iceberg, right? But I'm just beginning here. Thinking you know infiltrates the mind much more than you realize. You are just beginning to scratch the surface of looking at it. The first step has been taken, and this is great. You have realized that you depend much on thinking you know, and you have given willingness to realize that you do not. And by that he means that I do not know, or that the ego mind does not know. So even here, it's funny because during the prayer I gave gratitude 3 times for my willingness. And Spirit seems to be thanking me for my willingness as well in this particular paragraph, right? Thanking me for my willingness to realize that I do not know like I think I do. So Holy Spirit shares our gratitude for our willingness. And if you just think about that for a moment, if we are grateful for our willingness, and if Holy Spirit shares that gratitude, the power in that gratitude is unspeakable. It is going to carry us to the next step and the next step and the next step, all the way to realization. So willingness is not a little thing. In fact, let me grab NTI. For those of you who have NTI, when we're done here, if you want to read about willingness, I highly recommend NTI Galatians chapter 5. Right now I'm just going to take a little break and I'm going to read one little part from NTI Galatians chapter 5. NTI Galatians chapter 5 starts on page 333. You should be able to remember that if you want to go back and read it later. 333. But I'm going to be reading from 335. Listen to this, okay? And I notice someone has their hand up. If you would just write out your comment, I'll get to it. But I feel like staying in the flow for now. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Focus on your willingness as if it is your truth, because it is. Focus on your willingness as if it holds the answer to all questions, because it does. Focus on your willingness as if it is everything to everyone, because it is. Focus on your own willingness. That is love alive within the world. So I don't think that we can comprehend with our thinking minds the power of our willingness. But if Holy Spirit shares gratitude with us for our willingness, that willingness has incredible power. And so it doesn't matter what step we're on. It doesn't matter what it is that we need to learn next or what it is that we need to let go of next. All we need to do is start by giving our willingness, and that's not a little thing, right? Great, great power there.